Hey guys, what's up and welcome to the day 7 final training of the Fluent Pronunciation Challenge. Wow, I cannot believe we made it. I cannot believe I made it. Oh my goodness. This was intense. I love doing these live videos. I love training. I love teaching all of this stuff. But I don't know if I have ever done 7 days in a row of intense training. Like, I can't even believe right now that I'm saying this is the final video because this is just so crazy for me. So congratulations to everybody who made it to the end. I know my daily videos were really long. You guys, I had so much to share with you, and I feel like we only just barely scratched the surface, to be honest, but oh well, we did as much as we could in 1 week. I know some of you were not able to keep up with all of my videos, but that's okay. You're gonna have lifetime access to this group, to the videos, to the content. I want you to rest assured, it's for you guys. I did this and I made this for you, okay? So take your time, go through everything. And if this was really intense, you can take a whole month off and then you can come back to all the content and you can do the challenge again. You can do it yourself. You don't even have to wait for me to launch the challenge again or anything like that. You can just decide, you know what, I'm going to go through everything again. I'm going to study all the videos again. And I actually want you to do this because I want you to see your own progress. I want you to make the before and the after videos because I promise if you do this, okay, do this in 6 months, do this in a year, okay? I know that the list of words is pretty basic and it's pretty short, all things considered, because there's a lot more we could have done, right? But we can't do too much because your brain can't absorb all that information in a week. But regardless, you have plenty right here to work on for years to come, right? We covered several really important vowel sounds in English. We covered really important consonant sounds, okay? Really getting those consonant sounds strong. And some of you still need to work on individual units of sound, okay? The vowels, the consonants, etc. And the material here will help you with that, okay? Think of it like medication, right? It's medication. Take your medication. Watch the videos, practice, and you will cure yourself of any mispronunciations that you're making or anything like that. If you're still struggling with certain sounds, just keep going, okay? The silent letters, the long words, the connected speech, everything we did here is really great practice for you, okay? So, this is how I structure all of my programs, by the way, you guys. Whenever I create the content, I'm thinking long term. I'm not thinking I want to make something so easy that my students can do it once and that they never have to do it again. This material that you guys have gotten in this challenge, okay, is so challenging that many of you, most of you, okay, maybe even all of you can do this entire challenge again and still benefit from it, okay? Because of the information in the videos, because of the mindset stuff we talked about, because of the practice I did drilling sounds. And there was a bunch of bonus material too, where I was like, hey, I wasn't gonna talk about this, but now here I'm adding it to the training. There's so much for you to do here. You don't even have to do more, okay? You can if you want. And like I've been saying, we're gonna launch the pronunciation and accent course in November. So for those of you who really want to dedicate your time to this and invest in this more with me, we can absolutely go further. But for those of you who are like, oh my gosh, Stephanie, this was a lot, I just need to work on this for now, that's totally fine, okay? So I've actually got a lot to share with you guys today. I'm going to try and cram in like all of my last minute ideas, etc. because I'm just like, oh my goodness, this is the last video. This is my last opportunity to share as much as I can with you, to teach you as much as I can. So we're going to revisit some old ideas. I'm going to react to the homework. I've been watching your after videos since yesterday. Okay, really cool stuff. But before we continue, we have to do something super important, okay? I have to give a major shout out to Renzo, okay? Because Renzo made this challenge possible for you guys. So please thank him in the comments. Every single day of this challenge, he has been taking Arlo first thing in the morning away from the house. They've been going to the park. They've been visiting people. They've been doing fun things so that I don't have to worry, so that I know my baby's fine. And I can focus on you guys. I can prepare for the videos, then I can go live, then I can send the emails, and I can do all of this distraction-free. I could not do it without him. It's amazing. So let's thank Renzo for making this possible. Cool. Okay, next thing I want to say is when you're on a language learning journey, I think the most motivating thing is seeing your own results. When you can finally do something that you've been wanting to do, not just learn, not just like, oh, aha, wow, that's a epiphany, really cool idea, okay? But when you actually experience a change inside of you, whether that means you're able to hear a sound that you couldn't hear and distinguish before, you're able to articulate and make a sound that you couldn't make before, you're able to connect your words in a way that you couldn't do before, or finally you're understanding native speakers more because you're understanding how they connect their words, okay? All of these things, finally being able to hear, finally being able to say, finally being able to understand, these are the things that I think truly motivate us language learners to continue on the journey, because the journey gets really rough and hard and frustrating when there is no progress, okay? When you cannot feel the progress inside of you and you plateau and you're just like, oh, I really want to improve. You can hear maybe that you're not saying things totally correctly, or you don't understand why you don't understand something, okay? But when you experience that progress, it is so motivating. So this is why I structured the challenge like this. This is why I structure every single course that I do like this. Here's a week, and in this week, here's a lesson for you. Okay, and here's a task, and I want you to focus on that task throughout the week, because I promise you doing the task is what's going to give you results. And then at the end of the week, we all have a discussion about it, etc. And it's kind of nice, because instead of having a video like this every single day, which, let's be honest, is impossible to keep up with for the long term, okay, you're only getting one lesson a week usually, okay, or an hour of content from me. As you guys can see, I can teach a lot in an hour. And then you have a task and you do the task. And then at the end of the week, there's maybe another hour of analysis that we do. So it's constantly learning, applying, analyzing. Learning, applying, analyzing. This is my structure. This is my teaching methodology that I use in this challenge, that I use in every challenge, except the Fluency Breakthrough Challenge. Actually, that one's a little different, because that's just task, because we have a very specific goal there, and it's to help students with their fluency and confidence. And we have a different kind of methodology for that. But aside from that, the methodology you saw here in this challenge is my methodology for all of my courses that I make. So anyhow, seeing your own results is motivating, and I learned this about myself, and this is why I do it in this way. I want you to be able to experience some level of improvement every week, even if it's a little bit, because even if you only improved a couple things from your before video to your after, that's huge, because if you hadn't done this challenge, you never would have made those improvements, okay? Some of you made massive improvements. I kid you not, like massive improvements. And others of you improved just a few things, but at the same time, or like I was saying, even a little bit is a big deal. So let's talk about some things that I noticed from the videos, okay? Jose says, I really learned a lot in this week. Yay, good, awesome. Okay, so first things first, actually, let me ask you guys a question. Before I say what I noticed in the videos, what did you guys notice in the videos? Did you notice your own changes, your own improvements? Did you notice the improvements of your peers? I know some of you have friends in this challenge. Maybe some of you made some new friends in this challenge. Did you see improvements in other people, right? Okay, so what did you guys see in yourself? Because again, this is also one of my main methodologies with teaching, right? Is that I have to get you guys to be able to see your own mistakes and to see your own improvements. Because if I can get you to a level where you can recognize using material, comparing, analyzing before and after, etc., okay, then you are going to become the most independent, productive, proactive learner that there is. You're not going to need the feedback of a teacher. You can if you want, okay? But again, if you're in a position where you constantly need the feedback of a teacher and you can't hear your mistakes, it almost doesn't matter if a teacher tells you, hey, you're pronouncing this wrong, because if you can't hear it, are you going to be able to hear it when the teacher tells you you're pronouncing it wrong? Okay, right? Because we want to get you to a point where you can hear your mistakes. And yes, you will learn a lot with feedback, with good feedback, with these feedback videos that I'm making, I have a lot of advice, and you can go back to your videos and you can say, hey, does this apply to me? I'm going to be giving you guys advice today in this video because we did the before video. I gave you guys advice. Now you did the after video, I'm going to give you more advice because I see improvements, but I also see things that need to keep improving. So we're going to talk about that. So it's basically this continuous cycle of you creating something that you can analyze yourself and then analyzing it and then doing it again. Okay, and then analyzing it again, and then doing it again, and analyzing it again, right? And you will become more and more aware of things throughout your journey as you go. In the beginning, for some of you, this has been an overwhelming experience because you struggle with a lot of sounds. Like forget connected speech, you struggle with basic sounds in English, okay? So of course, this has been a huge challenge. But like I said, if you decide to do this challenge for yourself over and over again, once a month, quarterly, throughout the year, biannually or whatever, okay, you're going to get to a point where you master those sounds. And then you're going to be able to move on to the more difficult things, okay? So anyhow, let's continue on. So some things that I noticed in these after videos, more confidence. Wow, some of you guys just showed up in your video. I can tell that you were practicing. The presence that you had in your video basically communicated, I feel so much more confident now reading this word list because I've practiced, because I've studied, okay? Because I've worked hard, and because I am able to hear the differences myself, and I was able to correct some of my own mistakes. That is why so many of you showed up with so much confidence, okay? Also, let's talk really fast. Reminder, what creates confidence? Experience creates confidence. You've gained experience. You did the before video. That was your first experience. So when you do the after video, of course, you're going to be more confident because of the experience you've gained. You've practiced. This also builds confidence. So now you're not looking at this list going, oh my goodness, how am I supposed to say this naturally? How do I connect these words? How do I say these long words? Okay, you've practiced, so you're more confident. And finally, we talked so much about mindset. Now you're less afraid of making mistakes, or maybe you don't care at all, or you're okay with your accent and how it's coming along. Okay, so you've switched, you've changed, you've switched your mindset. And this also gives you confidence, okay? So I saw a lot more confidence in the after videos, and I'm not surprised. This was to be expected. I already know how this goes. I know what the journey is like, and I know that these experiences create confidence. So I was 100% expecting this, and you guys, it was amazing, okay? So some of you, this to me blew my mind, and this did surprise me because I cannot believe some of you made such huge improvements in 1 week, okay? So some of you had a huge improvement and difference in the vowel sounds. Like I kid you not, in the beginning video, maybe the vowel sounds were very similar, all the same, really confusing sounding. But in this one, the very first two, for example, beat and bit, and for some of you, I even went back to the first videos sometimes to see the difference. And I was like, oh my goodness. Some of you in the first video said beat, beat. And in the second video, you said beat, bit. That is huge. The fact that you can hear the difference, the fact that you can make these sounds distinctly how they are supposed to be made is huge, because now you can take that sound bit, okay, the I sound that you now know how to make, and you can practice making that in so many words. This is what I'm talking about when I say language has patterns. If you can master one individual unit, you can take that unit and you can use it in every single word where it appears. This is why focusing on mastering individual sounds and units in the language is like step one, priority number one. Okay, because you cannot have clear connected speech if you don't have clear individual sounds. So when I saw this, I was just like, oh my goodness, I'm so proud of you guys because it's huge. It's amazing. I know some of you have struggled with this for years. Okay, so just really, really overwhelmingly proud of you guys and happy for your success. Okay, next. The reductions sound so much more natural. The connected speech, I was like, wow, oh my goodness, they're saying it the way I say it. This is amazing. You know, my little students, they're doing so good. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, it's like you do get this like proud teacher moment when you see people actually imitating the role model, right? And doing a great job. And you can tell that they practiced. And there's still some things we can fine tune. Okay, I'm going to tell you about those in a minute. But still, just the fact that I could go back and forth between before and after videos and hear the difference and see the difference, like, it was amazing. You guys should be so proud of your hard work right now, okay? Because this is the type of training that will get you results. So the reduction sounded a lot more natural. And because they sounded more natural, you guys even looked more confident saying them, and you were able to speak faster, which is amazing because when we don't connect our words, then it slows us down. Okay. So now I have a couple tips for you guys because there's a lot of good, but there's still stuff we need to work on, right? 1 week is not going to cure every single pronunciation problem that there is. So a couple things that some students still need to work on. And for some of you, by the way, it's like you improved this, but you still need to work on this. Okay. You improved that, but you still need to work on this other thing. Okay. So it's your job now to go back to the after video and analyze after I share what I'm about to share. And it's your job to really compare your before and your after. This is why I asked questions for you to answer with your video. We always do this in my courses. This is part of the process to get you to analyze your own work and figure out what you need to do, what you need to work on. So anyways, what was I going to say? So some students need to keep working on individual sounds, right? Some of the vowel sounds still were not quite there yet for like the but and the bat. It was like but, and it shouldn't be like that. It needs to be but, bat. You have to still work on the ah sound, okay? Or some of you still do need to work on the I sound, okay? Beat, bit. And the sound, some of you need to work on the sound a little bit more. Bet. Excuse me, let me clear my throat. Bet, versus okay? So some of you still need to work on individual sounds. Also like the V versus the W, vine, wine, or very, berry, okay? For a few of you, I heard you still making that L sound in like walk, okay? It's not walk, okay? It's walk, okay? What else do we have here? Walk, talk, okay? No L sound. Next, with the connected speech. For some of you, you were making the correct reductions in some places, and in other places, you were not reducing anything at all, okay? So we need to talk about this. And besides that, for some of you, when you did the connected speech, your clarity kind of like went out the door, all right? So this is something that's very important. If you're going to connect your speech, it has to be clear. You have to make good, accurate vowel sounds, consonant sounds. You have to really work on those syllables because you cannot mush everything together, because if you mush it all together, clarity goes out the window. And it's better for you to speak every single individual word to maintain clarity, okay, than it is to connect everything and lose clarity, okay? So this is kind of like the give and take. If you're going to connect it, it has to be clear. You have to work on getting that clear, okay? Because there's no sense in connecting it and losing clarity. It is better if we compare, should we use connected speech or not, okay? That doesn't really matter. What matters is clarity. If you can use connected speech and maintain total clarity, that is optimal. That's perfect. But if you lose your clarity when you connect your speech, okay, we don't want that. It's better to keep speaking every single individual word to be clear. So you have to go back and you have to analyze this. Did I lose clarity? Okay, do I understand what I'm saying? Does this sound good? Does this sound like the way Stefanie is saying it? Remember, I am your role model in this challenge. Your goal is to make it sound like me. Okay, because if you can make it sound like me, then you have control over your voice. And later you can choose how you want to sound. But right now we're training your voice, right? We're training your sounds, we're training your pronunciation, accent, all of that. Okay, so you have to go back and you have to look at your clarity. Now let's talk about some of the mistakes in the, this was a little bit surprising for me, to be honest. with the shoulda, coulda, woulda, musta, okay? I really wanted you guys to go for the full reduction. Shoulda, not should've, not could've, not would've, okay? See how at the end there, I'm making the v sound? I didn't want that. I wanted it to be shoulda, coulda, woulda, musta, because this is the most reduced reduction. And I want you to practice this, because once you dominate and master this, again, then you at least have choices. You can choose. Do I want to say shoulda? Do I want to say should've? Do I want to say should have? Okay. But you have to be able to make those most reduced reductions in order to give yourself the widest and greatest options when you're speaking, right? Because I will be honest, sometimes I say shoulda, sometimes I say should've, and sometimes I say should have. It really depends on what I want to emphasize, how I'm feeling, what I want to say, how I want it to come out of my mouth, okay? So this is why we go for practicing the most reduced reductions, to give you choices, to give you options, to expand your speaking ability, okay? And to simply train you in the art of imitation, okay? Train you in the art of imitation, because when you can imitate something accurately and perfectly, right? Again, you're training your voice, you're getting more control, and you'll have more command over it. And we're training you to pay attention to the details, because speaking like a native, sounding like a native, developing your voice in English, all of these things, okay, require a huge attention to detail. Really, truly huge. Getting control of your voice. Again, whether you want to sound, speak like a native, whatever, or not. Okay, and we're actually going to talk a little bit more about that later. I have something else I want to share that I don't know if I've shared earlier, but this stuff is really important, okay? You have to pay attention to the details, be super detail-oriented and perfectionistic in your quest to imitate, okay? Not perfectionistic when it's time to speak freely and have a conversation and enjoy yourself. No, you don't want to be a perfectionist there in those instances, but you do want to be a perfectionist in your practice, okay? So I do want to encourage that. Okay, the next thing that kind of shocked me a little bit is we spent so much time talking about the zit connection, okay? But instead of, people actually saying, some people, why zit so hot? Why is it so hot? There were still people saying, why is it so hot? Why is it? How is it going? Who is it from? Where is it at? But that's not what we did in the practice videos. In the practice videos, we did why. Like, imagine these are 3 words, okay? Why is it so hot? Okay, 4 words. Why is it so hot? Now, I think this maybe would be even easier for you guys if you had it written out so that you could actually visually see the words, okay? So I understand that. And just so you guys know, I'm planning on taking all of this content and I'm going to put it into a course, a mini course that we will charge for, but I'm going to add to it. I'm going to add some extra videos. I'm going to add some writing so you guys can see how it's spelled, etc. And then that will be like the paid version of this challenge. The free version of this challenge is just going to be what you guys got here, which is just the live videos, the Facebook group, etc. But then I'm going to take all of this, I'm going to add to it, okay, and then we're going to offer this. And of course, we will give a discount to the students who participated here in the live version, okay? So that's my goal. Don't ask me when it's going to be ready because, I'm going to be focused probably mostly on the pronunciation course right now. But yeah, that's one of my goals. Okay. So we can add like the written stuff. And so I can add some extra like explainer videos and stuff. That'll make this even easier for you. Okay. Anyhow, so how's it going? Okay. Imagine this being 3 words. How is it going? Then we have who's it from? Then we have where's it at? Then we have what's it for? What's it for? Actually, this one is connected. It's hard to make it 3 words because they're actually more connected. The T from what, okay, connects with the zit, and it's like what's it? Sit. It's that TS connection. Sit. What's it for? What's it for? Then we have when's it start? When's it start? When's it start? And then we have, what's it mean? What's it mean? There again, we have the tss, 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 what's it? What's it? What's it? Then we have the what's it do? What's it do? What's it? What's it? What's it? What's it do? Okay? And then also with the whatter, people still had a tendency to say R, okay? And the idea was to reduce the R down to water, 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 water. What are you saying? What are you saying? What are the options? What are the options? What are we having for dinner? What are we having for dinner? Okay, so what else was I going to say about this? Why is it so hot? How's it going? Who's it from? Where's it at? Oh, I think I was going to say one more thing and now I don't remember. Hopefully it will come back to me. Okay, but those were sort of like the main things I noticed from the after videos. Okay, Lizette says, thank you so much for these training sessions. It helped me a lot. Awesome. Oh, yes, I remember what I was going to show you or tell you guys. Okay, I want to show you how I drill sounds because this might be helpful. First of all, you're changing habits when you're learning how to talk like this, and changing habits is hard. Like, how often does it happen, right? The power goes out in your home and you forget and you go into a room and you switch on a light. Okay, that's a habit. You're doing it out of habit, even though you know that the power has gone out. There is no electricity. You still try to go around your house turning on lights. It definitely happens to me when the power goes out. So that's like one of the easiest examples I can think of. We do so many things out of habit, okay? We also speak out of habit. We also pronounce things out of habit. So breaking habits or changing habits or creating habits is very, very difficult, okay? So in order to not just practice these, but like incorporate them now into your daily speech, you need to create these new habits. So think of the why is it, right? This is one I think that a lot of people struggled with to actually remember to reduce this. So for me, I would simply throughout my day say, why is it? 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 Then I would say, what's it? What's it? What's it? What's it? What's it? What's it? Where's 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 it? Who's it? Who's it? Who's it? When's it? When's it? When's it? What's it? What's it? Okay. Where's it? So basically you take the connections and you ignore the rest of the sentence because the rest of the sentence is easy. You should also be doing this in words that are difficult, like the long words. Let's see, disingenuous. Maybe you struggle with the genu part. So you should just say genu, 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 okay? Or genuous, genuous, genuous. Maybe you struggle with the first part, dissen, 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 okay? Yeah, so basically it's you have to work on these, changing these habits, okay? Making new habits, breaking old habits. And my biggest recommendation here is just isolating the part that you struggle with, okay? And drilling that throughout the day in your head, okay? I guarantee it will make a huge difference for you. Okay, so the next thing I want to say, which maybe I said already, I don't actually remember, hang on. Is awareness is the first step to changing something. You cannot change something that you are not aware of, all right? Once you see it, you can't unsee it, right? So in our vocab course, the Basic to Brilliant Vocabulary Transformation Program, we started this hashtag called It's Happening. And I want to tell you guys about this hashtag and how it works because I saw it appear in this group from one of my students there. And I'm like, oh my goodness, we can actually use it too here. We can actually use it here too. So basically, it's happening. We started using this when the students would encounter new vocabulary in the material they were studying. And then suddenly they started seeing that word everywhere. And I mean everywhere, on the news, in the books they were reading, in the newspaper, online, in movies, right? And it's so funny because they think, 2 days ago, I did not know that this word existed. And now I'm seeing it everywhere, Why? Were they not seeing the word before? Were they never seeing the word before? No. Okay. They just weren't aware. And this happens with language because there's so much to be aware of. There's words, there's sounds, there's grammar, there's this, there's that. It is so difficult to be aware of absolutely everything. And that is why there can be words that you've heard all your life and you still don't know what they mean, or you don't know how to use them confidently. And this can even happen to you in your native language. I know it happens to me. There are words in English where I'm like, I know I've heard that. I don't know how to use it. I've never looked it up. I've never looked into it, whatever, right? So anyhow, one of our students here, she posted something and she said, it's happening. And basically she was like, I'm starting to hear reductions everywhere in English, right? The reductions that we're studying here. And I was really excited to hear that because as I told you guys earlier, these are some of the most basic reductions in English. So you should start hearing them everywhere, okay? That would actually be very expected. So anyhow, I thought that was really cool. Next, just going down my notes here. When you learn to control the little units of sound, okay, and I think I said this already, when you learn to control the little units of sound, you can control your overall sound so much more, okay? So the little units of sound, okay, you really want to make it your goal. I think I said this earlier in the challenge, make it your goal to be able to say every vowel sound, every consonant sound accurately. Okay, because then if you can do that, it makes everything else in pronunciation and voice training so much easier. But if you still can't make the R, if you still roll your R, if you still struggle with the R and the L or differentiating the W and the V, these are sounds that you need to drill and practice until you get it so that you almost never have any slip ups, okay? And it is possible to train your voice and achieve this. So for those of you who have been struggling with certain sounds for years and feel like, oh, nothing has helped, it's impossible. First, we have to work on your mindset, change your mindset. It is possible with the right training, okay, with the right mindset, anything is possible. All of these things are possible. You've experienced change just in 1 week in this course, okay? So it is possible. It's just a matter of training, dedication, mindset, attitude, etc. Remember, your mind, your brain controls your mouth. Okay, so all the work you have to do is really up here first, okay, and then here. Next, question. Let me see if we should talk about this now. Okay, yeah, we can talk about it now. Have your goals changed since starting the challenge at all, right? So in the challenge, maybe when you joined, you had certain goals, and I'm just curious, have your goals changed in any way? Whether it's how you want to sound or the sounds you need to work on or what you want for your voice. I did hear some people talking about their goals changing in their after videos. Like some people were so concerned about like passing as a native, and now they don't care about that as much. And so they're already experiencing more freedom in what they're going after. Okay. So, and I do want to say something else about the speak like a native, because I just feel like this whole idea just gets so confusing and convoluted, right? So the first thing I really want to say about this is like, the word like and how it's used in English, okay? This is called a simile, okay? A simile is a comparison using the word like or as. It's not saying this is this, it's saying this is like this, okay? So you could say, wow, she dances like a ballerina, okay? Does that mean she dances like a professional ballerina that could go dance on Broadway or wherever ballerinas dance? I don't know. No, not necessarily. It's just saying, wow, she dances like a ballerina, okay? Or, you know, this hamburger tastes like it's from McDonald's, okay? Is it a McDonald's hamburger? Is it exactly like a McDonald's hamburger? Maybe not, but maybe it tastes kind of like one, right? So anyways, it's okay, you guys, it's okay to want to learn to speak like a native, because how do natives speak? They speak fluently. They reduce words in sentences, okay? They have distinct sounds for every single vowel that they say. They have clear, distinct consonant sounds, okay? So when you say, I want to speak like a native, that's not saying I want people to think I'm a native. I want to pass as a native. That simply means I'm sort of using the way that native speakers speak as my role model. Okay. And it's not about, I want people to think that I'm a native speaker. Remember, that's called trying to pass as a native. So I just wanted to differentiate that so people are aware. Okay. Let me see. Cool. I have a few more things to get through. How am I doing on time? Ooh, I'm doing okay. Okay, so next thing. I want you guys to remember that making these changes takes time, and this was only a week. Remember, throughout this week, we've been talking about having realistic expectations, okay? So this week, if you changed your pronunciation in any way, that's like, wow, that's the cherry on top, because the first step is awareness, right? So even if you didn't change much about your pronunciation, but you just became aware of so many things, that's a huge step in the right direction. Okay. We'll do some questions. I see some questions in the chat, you guys, but we'll do more, we'll do questions towards the end, okay? Okay. I think I already said some of these things on my notes. Okay, another thing we have to talk about. Oh, Paula says, the thing is that so many market strategies use the phrase like a native to sell more without really taking care of the true meaning behind that. Yes. And actually, I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to say something about that. For me personally, I don't have any problem with that phrase because, as you guys know, when I was learning Spanish, I wanted to speak like a native and sound like a native, and that really helped me. I think the problem is a lot of courses out there, marketing propaganda, companies, etc., they know that so many students desire this, and so they capitalize on it without being able to deliver. And I think that is awful. When you just take words because they're buzzwords and you say, oh, we're going to be able to make you fluent, you can speak like a native and this and that, but they have no proven system for actually helping students get those results. A lot of people just create English courses and then they use all the buzzwords that they can think of, but they actually have no idea how to help students get results. And what you end up getting in those courses might as well be a YouTube video, right? It might as well just be like and some YouTube videos are helpful, some are not. Some have really good information, and some are just absolute BS. Like the stuff that they tell you to do or not do, it's like not based in any kind of truth at all. It's just like somebody needed to create content and they have people following them. So they think of these ideas and they're like, okay, I think I'm going to give this advice. Okay. But the advice is not based on any founded evidence whatsoever. This is why I'm so glad in many ways that I've taken a break from YouTube, because I've focused so much on working with my students in my courses. This is research for me. This is all research. I'm really discovering what works, what doesn't, how to train students, how to help them get the results. So I'm perfectly fine taking a break from YouTube because I know when I go back to YouTube, if my advice was good before, it's going to be even better now, because now I have all this experience under my belt, helping hundreds and thousands of students get results in English. So when I speak and when I give advice, it's not like I'm, in English we say pulling it out of my ass. Basically, I'm not doing that. I'm not inventing it. It's actually based on something real. So that's the reality. And you guys have to be really careful as consumers, okay, just consuming content. I know a lot of you are also in the market for purchasing courses and stuff like that because you really want to invest in a structured format for improving your English. You have to be really careful who you buy from, what courses you invest in, what videos you watch, what teachers you follow, what accounts you follow, okay? Because not everybody knows what they're doing, okay? In fact, I would say very few people actually really know what they're doing, okay? It's very easy to create content and put it on the internet, but most people are not really truly focused on the student. They're focused on the clicks, because you guys should know this, right? They get money Okay, I can get money. I get a little income from my YouTube channel, right? So, and a lot of people are just like, I want to get the money. What title do I need to give it? What should I teach that will make people go, wow, you know, and what complicated thing can I invent to make students go, wow, you know, and then you don't end up actually getting results. You just get confused or you get frustrated, and that's not cool. So Yafa says, right, I see a lot of channels of young people who teach English, and what they basically do is just repeat the same things other English YouTubers say. Yes. And this is actually one of my pet peeves, you guys, because I kid you not, I spend so much time thinking about you. I lose sleep at night trying to figure out how to teach better, how to make my programs really get students for results. Like, I literally lose sleep. I dedicate my life to this. Aside from, you know, dedicating my life to my family, right? This is my life. So I'm constantly thinking about all these things, and it's so frustrating when I see my hard work getting like replicated and no credit given. You know, like people just, I do something and I make it look easy, but people don't see all the thought that went into it. They don't see the methodology behind it. They don't understand why it works, right? And then they just take it, steal it, and then call it their own. They don't give any credit whatsoever. And that, I think, is one of the most frustrating things about putting your hard work online for the world to see, is that people will come and just rip it off because they have no integrity. And it's just frustrating, right? And so there are a lot of people out there who, they might appear to be experts, but their knowledge only goes so deep because they aren't the true expert. They are going to real experts. They're studying what the real experts are saying, and then they're coming back and pretending that they came up with those ideas. Okay, it would be totally different if people made videos and said, so I participated in Stefanie's Fluency Breakthrough Challenge, and I learned so much from that experience, and I want to share with you guys what I learned about how to achieve fluency and confidence and all this stuff thanks to that challenge. That, you know, that'd be totally different, right? But people come in, they learn, and then they go and present themselves as the expert, and that is deceptive, right? So if we really truly have some kind of transformation and learn from somebody, it's our job then to at least give credit where credit is due. So that's my little rant. Oh my goodness. Okay, what else have you guys been saying? Because I missed some of the comments. Clayson says, wow, you just used a word I learned last week. Buzzword. See, it's happening, Clayson. It's happening. Once you learn it, you start seeing it everywhere. Okay. Someone says, it would be fantastic if you could create an English class for the very beginners. That way, many teachers teach. The way many teachers teach is very bad, very discouraging for these kids. I know some in my family who are really struggling to learn English. I totally understand, but the thing with teaching beginners is, first of all, my heart and my passion is teaching intermediate and advanced learners and really elevating them to new levels. But teaching beginners, it's difficult to do in English, right? Because a lot of times you need the support of somebody who speaks your native language. Anyways, yeah. Miriam says, I noticed that you give a reliable information and you always add something new. Yes, you guys, that is, to me, that is the mark of a true teacher, of a true expert. It's like every time they open their mouth, you're learning something new, right? You can tell that they're really thinking about the things that they say. They're not just repeating what they heard somewhere else. Aylin says, I just noticed I use reduction sometimes without thinking, but now with your piece of advice, I know more about, and I'll definitely start applying as many as I can. Yes, a lot of people learn reductions on their own without trying to learn it, just because they're imitating native speakers. And they're like, oh, this is how they speak, so this is how I should speak. And they sort of assimilate it naturally. And you can absolutely do that. And some of you have already done that in many ways. But basically what I'm doing with the type of assignment we did here is I'm bringing your attention to the patterns, to what happens naturally that you may have assimilated and not even realized it, or you haven't assimilated it, but now you will because you've realized it. Abdullah says, in your opinion, why are tongue twisters are not helpful in terms of improving pronunciation? Okay. I wouldn't say that they're totally not helpful. I would say that they're not a priority for me at all, because if you guys think about the list we did, how difficult was this? Okay, for many of you, it was very difficult. None of this was a tongue twister. All of this was real English. And when I teach, I want my content to be able to help students immediately, not just with the task at hand, but you can take every single word you studied here, every single sentence, and you can go use it now in real life. So there's like a double what's usefulness to the content. Tongue twisters do not have any type of double usefulness. And I just invented this term, by the way. They're good for practicing just the sound. And at that, I would question how useful are they? Because they're so complicated, even for native English speakers, okay? Even I struggle with tongue twisters. So why on God's green earth, okay, why on earth would I ask my students who are struggling big time with so many things to do something that is even difficult for me? This is easy for me, super easy. I'm going to give you something that's easy for me so that you can get to this level and it can be easy for you too. I am not going to make my students do something that is difficult for me, because to me that makes no sense. It's not useful. This is way more useful. And at the end of the day, it's not even about the tongue twisters being good or bad. It's about how useful is it? And is there a better methodology? And I'm not going to be the teacher that goes out and sees what other teachers are doing and just imitates other teachers. Like, oh, all the teachers on Instagram are doing tongue twisters. All the teachers on YouTube are doing tongue twisters. So I'm going to go do what everybody else is doing. No, I think really deep and long and hard about these things. And I've observed and analyzed that there are better ways. So we don't have to do tongue twisters. Okay. We do not have to do tongue twisters. They can be fun. They can be a lot of things, right? But when it comes to helping students get results fast, there are better ways. So that's what I think about that. Oh my goodness. Let me see. Yeah, but Mohammed says, I think that I need a native speaker as a friend to talk with all the time to improve my whole English, not just pronunciation. Okay, if you have not tried the Fluency Breakthrough Challenge, try that. And yes, I also do advocate for making friends with native speakers just because it's a great experience. Why not, right? You get to share your culture, you get to practice the language, etc. So practicing with natives and non-natives, good. Okay, it's not, to me, it's not that one is better than the other. They serve different purposes and you can get different things from different experiences. Lavindo says, how I know if I'm at the correct level to follow your classes. So you have to do a self-analysis. You've been following the challenge. Has it been helping? Have you been understanding? Have you been able to implement? Okay, because if you're able to do that and see your own results, then you're at the right level to continue on. Why not, right? It's everything I make is, all my programs are challenging, but I would say it doesn't get too much more challenging than this. I mean, maybe a little bit, depends, because like in the daily English program and the vocab course, like we do totally different things. But at the end of the day, a challenge is good. Being challenged is good. It actually pushes you further, faster. If you study material that is too easy, okay, and if your classes are boring, if it doesn't push you out of your comfort zone, if the teacher's overcomplicating the information, then you're not going to advance as quickly. You might even get discouraged and quit. Someone says, I see the challenge as not only how to create new sounds, but how to create these sounds in connected speech. Furthermore, problem, we're more familiar to connect words in a way we connect them in our native language. Yeah. And by the way, connected speech happens in every language. So Shahad says, Stefanie, today in the lecture, I was participating a lot and I was relaxing while discussing things with my professor without being nervous. Yeah, you guys, that's amazing. You see how like one little experience, this is just a week, it's like already paying off in your personal life, okay? I've been getting messages from you guys on Instagram, Facebook, email saying, oh my goodness, I'm already feeling more confident, I'm this, I'm that. And you guys, I'm so happy for you because freedom in a language, freedom to speak, freedom to enjoy it, freedom to practice, have fun, make mistakes, etc. It's amazing. Okay. Amor said, I had my husband read out loud the first list of words, and then I showed him the second list. he didn't even realize that he sounded like the one on the second list. It was amazing. That is so cool. For those of you who don't know, Amor is married to a native English speaker from the US. So basically she's saying she had him read the first list and then she showed him the second list to help him see the patterns. And he didn't even realize that that's what he was doing. So this is what I mean when I for the last several years, and this is why I did not make my pronunciation and accent course earlier. I was not ready. I've spent the last few years, you guys, I kid you not, analyzing the language and observing patterns and pulling them out and figuring out how the heck I'm going to teach this, because it's such a big thing. As you guys can see, we just did a little bit in this week, right? But yeah, it's like native speakers, they don't know how to teach this stuff, most of them, because they don't know the patterns. They've never even thought, they've never even realized, hey, we speak in patterns, okay? I realized it because my brain, as I told you guys before, has a way of observing patterns in the world around me. And when I went to Argentina, I started noticing patterns for the first time in my life in Spanish. Previously, I did not notice the patterns. Do you know why? Because I had teachers from Mexico, teachers who were native English speakers speaking in Spanish, teachers who were from Spain, teachers who were from Argentina, and I didn't notice patterns because everybody had their own way of speaking. It was impossible to pick up the patterns, to imitate the patterns, because I was just like left on my own, right? So when I went to Argentina, where everybody was speaking the exact same way, suddenly I was like, OMG. There are patterns in languages. We have patterns. So I first learned patterns in Spanish and I sort of dissected all of it in my head to then be able to imitate the patterns. And then when it came to teaching English, I'm like, okay, I'm going to find the patterns in English and the patterns in the way that I speak so that I can create a model for my students to learn and follow so that they can learn the patterns too. Cool. So I get really excited about this kind of stuff, you guys. I think this is also the mark of a true teacher is somebody who is like insanely excited about their field of study. The mark of a good teacher. It's insanely excited about the field of study. And when the students get the results too, they're just like, wow, it's amazing. You know, a teacher's good when the students get results, not just that they can teach on a whiteboard and show you things, but their students actually experience transformation, okay? And also, this is really important, that they don't just experience transformation because they're inspired by the teacher, because we can be inspired by anybody, right? And we can actually make a lot of progress because of our own inspiration, right? And sometimes it really has nothing to do with what the teacher taught you per se. It's just that the teacher inspired you and your own inspiration helped you learn, okay? But I think really, really good teachers, they're not just inspiring you and helping motivate you, but they're actually telling you things that go, oh my goodness, I get it now. I get it now, right? And then you're able to understand something you've never understood before, and it changes everything. Bruno's saying, Steph, when are you going to start the pronunciation course? Okay, this is in my notes to talk to you guys about this. I should probably talk to you a little bit about it. And then I still have a few more things to say. Okay, we're going to start it in November. Okay, I think we do not have a set day of when we're going to open enrollment, but my guess is sometime next week. Okay, I don't want it to take longer than that, so I'm really hoping we can, my team, we can all make it happen. My small but mighty team, I'm hoping we can make it happen because I would like to start the course the 3rd week of November. The 4th week at the very latest, but I think we can make it be the 3rd week. Okay, so that's my goal. This course, you guys, I have to say is going to be the biggest course I've ever made. It's going to be a lot of work, but my job, it's a lot of work for me because I have to simplify everything. I have to take all of these things and simplify it. And then I have to do the live training videos. I have to give you guys content to study. It's going to be different from this challenge, the free version of this challenge, because in this version of the challenge, there was no audio files for you guys to practice with. It was just the live videos. But in the course, we're going to have dozens and dozens and dozens of audio files, especially for the people who need to drill individual words, individual sounds. And we're going to break everything up for you guys. We're going to have videos. We're going to have audio. It's going to be like a practice playground, okay? But then there's also going to be a structure. So it's going to be week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. And the beginning part of the course, we're focused entirely on helping you train your voice, which means imitating and shadowing. Your goal is to say it the way I say it. Okay. Everything. Okay. And we're doing this to train your voice for the first like 2/3 of the course, or the first 3/4 of the course, something like that. The final bit of the course is going to be all about transitioning from sounding exactly like me to then choosing how you want to speak, choosing how you want to sound, okay? Choosing features, sounds that you like, and having the freedom to say, no, I don't want to say it like that, how Stefanie says it. I want to say it like this, okay? And then, okay, we're going to basically move you towards a place where you can develop your own accent and sound how you want to sound, whether that is like me or not like me. Okay. And ultimately, my ultimate goal for students who finish this course is I want you guys to sort of graduate as speakers. Okay. If you want to start a podcast, you can be confident in your voice to start a podcast. If you want to start a YouTube channel, you can be confident in your voice to start a YouTube channel. If you want to speak on stage, if you want to just speak confidently in your daily life, right? This is the end result, the goal for my students, to be able to have good pronunciation, endless confidence, okay? And an accent that you love. And what was the other one? So good pronunciation, an accent that you love, confidence, and voice, training your voice so that you can have a strong, powerful voice, okay? Not a weak voice, not a scared voice, but a voice that, you can really use. You can speak up, you can be heard, all of that. So there's going to be different components to the course. That's just the main course, okay? We are going to have some bonus courses wrapped up into this that eventually we may offer for people to purchase separately. But we're going to have a section that is just going to be the sound bank, where you get to drill each individual sound. We're going to have a section and content that is all about mindset and how to deal with certain situations where you're going to be confronted with, how should I say this? Just difficult situations, and how to speak up or how to deal with it on the inside, internal issues. We're going to go a lot deeper into speaking anxiety, confidence, good speaking habits, which, by the way, we have not had any time to talk about in this challenge. But so it's pronunciation training, okay? Helping you develop your accent and developing your confidence and developing your voice, okay? So as I've been saying throughout this challenge, pronunciation in English is just the tip of the iceberg, okay? It's just, oh, here's how to make this sound. Here's how to make that sound. And most pronunciation courses are just that, okay? But this is more than that, because it's like we're taking you through a whole week by week experience. And I want to figure out how I can support the students as much as possible. I don't know how many people are going to join, so I have to figure out what's going to be realistic or not. What I know I can do and what I will do is I will do my weekly feedback video where I listen to and watch, all the homework, and then I come with my notes like I've been doing every day here, and I just give tons and tons and tons of feedback. But I'm going to see if I can also incorporate some element of Zoom sessions to give more individualized feedback to students, but that might have to be a separate, more expensive tier, okay? Because I would need to be able to get to students to be able to give them this really customized feedback experience and have time for that. And if we have hundreds of students join the course, it's not going to be realistic for me to do that for every single person. Okay. So we'll see, you guys. The first time I launch this course, it's going to be my, how do you say it? It's going to be the round where I do everything with the students. Okay. I'm there every week, analyzing, watching, creating. I'm making it as I go to make sure that we're hitting all the points. Okay. I don't make courses and then open them and launch them. I make them as I go because I need to be responsive to the needs of the students. And I need to create that really strong path for them to go on. And when I create it as I go, and I have experience with this because I've done this so many times, I'm really able to detect what I need to work on, what I need to change. So I always have my outline and my plan, but then I sometimes deviate from it or I add to it, etc. So what else could I say about this? I have my whiteboard back here with all the information about it. Okay. Also, with this course, I want students to get through it. Okay, my goal is for you to finish the course, because there's no sense in joining if you're not going to finish. And by finishing, you'll get the results. And then we want to give students a certificate of completion, like with my other courses. And then I want to create a separate practice area that just has other videos with tons of words and sentences and things for students to drill and shadow and practice. That won't be part of the main course. You will have to earn access to that. And I do this earn access thing to motivate my students to finish the courses, because the courses, they are the core training. You have to go through the core training to learn how to study, how to practice, how to analyze your errors, etc., etc. Okay. But once you go through the core course and you earn your certificate of completion, then I'm going to create this separate practice area where I'm just going to put a bunch of videos for students to continue their study. But I'm not going to make that be part of the course, one, because if you get access to that immediately, you're not going to focus only on the course material, and your focus has to be on the course, because that is what's going to get you to practice the right way, to make the right sounds, etc. And then you get access to the separate part. And you do that, and we do it this way, again, so that you learn how to practice, you get results when you practice, and then you can keep going after the course ends. And of course, this is going to be a lifetime access course. And it's probably going to be something that I end up launching maybe like twice a year. And again, basically the idea is, in the beginning, it's all about shadowing, imitating, learning the patterns of the language. We are going to start with the individual sound units. Then we're going to work to different types of words. Okay, there's a lot we could not go over in this challenge. We could not talk about suffixes. We couldn't talk about prefixes and how to say them. We didn't have time to talk about foreign words and how to pronounce foreign words in English. What else? I didn't even have time to teach you guys about the IPA in this challenge and how it can be so helpful in studying pronunciation. What else? There's a lot. Oh, there's a lot more contractions. There's a lot more connected speech. Word stress. We need to talk a lot more about this. We need to talk a lot more about the schwa. Yes, there's a lot more to cover. This was the beginning. This was just the beginning. So yeah, so basically in the beginning, I'm going to teach you all the sounds, everything. Okay. But the idea is not that you memorize it overnight or learn it overnight. That's going to be your guide, and you're going to use that, I kid you not, for years to come, okay? That is going to be your guide. So we're going to start with the individual sounds, then we're going to move to words, then we're going to move from words to phrases, from phrases to like sentences, and then we need to move from sentences and shadowing actual stuff on paper to speaking freely, okay? Speaking spontaneously, and incorporating all of that pronunciation work, okay, into when you just speak, okay, without shadowing something. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Let me know if you guys have any questions. If I miss any of the questions here, I'm going to go back through them after this live video so we can talk about everything. Let me take a water break. So, this course, by the way, you guys, it is going to be a significant investment. I'll just warn everybody right now, okay? Like I said, this is my biggest course that I've ever made, and I'm going to be putting a lot into it, and I will be trying to figure out ways how to give as much feedback as possible to the students without doing individual one-on-one feedback, because there's literally going to be no time for that. But you'll learn how to correct your own mistakes, and we'll do group feedback. I'll find a way. So yeah, it'll be the biggest course. For those of you who are interested in my other courses, we have the Fluency Breakthrough Challenge. So for example, if I launch this course and you're like, oh my goodness, I can't afford this right now, I need to start saving up so I can join that course next year. Okay, don't worry, I have other options, other things that can help you. In January, we are going to do the Fluency Breakthrough Challenge. Okay, this is an amazing challenge. It is one of my most affordable programs, and it's 30 days long, but we are going to restructure this challenge a little bit, you guys, for the next launch. I have something, you know, I almost told you, but I'm not going to tell you. It's a secret. We have something super exciting coming for the January version of the challenge, something we've never done before, and you'll just have to wait till January to hear about it. But basically, it's going to be awesome, and join that challenge if you need to improve your fluency or your confidence in English, okay? And then we have the vocabulary course, which is all about taking your level of vocabulary now and elevating it to another level. You're going to learn all the methodology, you're going to do projects, you're going to gain lots of vocabulary. The students that went through the course last time, by the time they counted up all the vocab that they had learned throughout just the course, a lot of students were at like 600 vocab words or more. And these are good everyday words that they were able to incorporate into their speech, learn, and start seeing everywhere, etc. And then, of course, you have the methodology to continue improving your vocab over time, because the goal there is to help you reach a high native level of vocabulary. And then we have the daily English program. And the daily English program is a 12-week program. Then once you finish, you get a certificate of completion and you get access to another 12-week program. Okay, so it's like 6 months total of really pushing you to the advanced level in English. Okay, studying advanced content, doing really challenging weekly homework assignments, making videos. We focus a lot on critical thinking. We focus a lot on clear messages, how to communicate a message clearly. We focus on reading, writing, speaking, presentation skills, fluency, confidence, vocabulary, pronunciation. We do everything in that course. Amor says, you're killing me with the suspense, Stephanie. I know. It's going to be good, though. It's a really good change. It's probably something I should have done a long time ago. Okay, Clayson says, can you share with us any kind of guide with the topics we need to study in order to improve our pronunciation? In the course, we'll talk more about this, like what specifically you need to work on. But I think this challenge for right now was a lot. So for some of you, this is enough for right now. And you just need to go back to everything I said and take notes on it and actually start checking stuff off and figuring out, do I need to work on this? Do I need to work on that? Do I need to work on this? Do I need to work on that? Because you don't want to be in a place where you're like, well, I don't know what I need to work on. I need a teacher to tell me what I need to work on, right? You need to listen to the training and the coaching and the feedback, and then you need to analyze where you're at and figure out, do I need to work on this? Do I need to work on that? Okay. You can definitely learn what you need to work on. My students are proof of this. Okay. The ones that have done my programs and do them over and over again, they're constantly saying, oh my gosh, I realized that I'm not doing this correctly. I need to do this. I need to do it like that. Or I learned how to do this. Okay. So this skill of being able to analyze your own English, this is a skill that has to be developed. Maybe you've never learned it before. Maybe no one has ever talked about it to you before, which is understandable, because most teachers, I think they feel that if they teach you how to correct your own mistakes, they'll be out of a job. Like, you won't need them anymore. But I don't think that that's true. I teach my students how to correct their own mistakes, and that's what keeps them coming back for more, because they're like, oh my gosh, I'm able to advance so much faster by knowing what I need to work on. Cool. I do have, I think, a few more things in my notes that I want to talk about, you guys, but let me just, okay. Facebook's not letting me see all the comments. So I'll go back to my notes. Okay, last thing, I've said this before. Remember, for those of you who are like, I love this methodology of imitating, shadowing, practicing to make my voice sound like this so that I can get more control over it. Remember that it's really important for you to be picky about who you imitate. Everybody speaks in a different way, okay? So think about let me name some prominent figures you guys might know and be familiar with. And we'll just say they all sound very different in English. Okay. Who knows Obama? You guys, have you heard Obama speak? Have you heard how he sounds? He does not sound like Trump. Okay. Trump and Obama, they sound very different. What about Oprah? Have you heard how Oprah speaks? What about Kim Kardashian? Have you heard how she speaks? Okay. Everybody speaks in their own way. So when you are imitating people, don't just imitate what you hear in movies or a TV show or whatever, because everybody sounds different. Your first job is to choose somebody, okay, that speaks in a way that you like. If you want to sound have a certain sound a certain way, okay, choose who you imitate carefully. Don't just imitate everybody unless you're just doing it for fun. But if you're seriously trying to train your voice, you need to be very picky about who you imitate because you could end up sounding a way that you don't want to sound. Okay? So listen, really listen to how people speak and ask yourself, do I like the way that this person speaks? Okay? Matthew McConaughey, another example of someone who has, his own very distinct way of speaking, right? Based on where he's from, based on what he does for a living, based on how he likes to represent himself in English. He's an actor. He can change his voice if he wants, right? He has that training behind him. The way he speaks is the way he wants to speak because he likes it. He's chosen that way to speak, okay? And you need to do the same thing. You need to figure out how you want to sound, okay? Who you want to sound like, okay? It doesn't mean you will sound exactly like that person. It just means that you will incorporate certain features of their speech into your speech. Jerry Seinfeld. Good. So yeah, actually tell me in the comments, who is someone, right, that you watch how they speak and you like how they speak, okay? And you want to practice sounding like them. Bruno's asking, Steph, when are you going to launch the next daily English program? We're probably going to do that in March. My goal for you guys, by the way, is I want to make a calendar. We have so many courses now at English Full Time, and I know that there's a lot of students who are like, okay, let me know when this one's open, when that one's open, because I want to do this, then I want to do that. And this year we had the problem where a lot of courses were really overlapping, okay? So, I want to create a calendar for 2022 where you guys will know when we plan on opening enrollment and doing the big, like, hey, everybody come into the course now. We're going to start a new round. I want to let you guys know, that's my goal. I want to make a course calendar so you guys can plan ahead, okay? Because I know a lot of you do plan ahead for our courses. Okay, Amin says, I want to imitate you. Cool. Amor says, I like the way Obama sounds. Powerful and charismatic. Yes. Cool. Mohammed says, even I don't have enough time to follow you, but I really have a good experience, a good and motivational experience with your course. Thanks a lot for your effort. You're welcome. And practice and patience. And patience to give us this opportunity. You're welcome. Alma says, I'm in the daily English program. Do you recommend me to enroll into the pronunciation challenge? Maybe we get a discount, please. Yes, you guys. People who are current students, because you're investing in multiple courses with us, you definitely will get a discount when we launch the course. And it's up to you because the pronunciation course is going to be really intense. The daily English program is really intense. So I don't necessarily want you to get distracted. So you have to decide how much time you have and whether you should stick with the daily English program now and then do the pronunciation course next year. Okay. We are creating basically, it's like doing a master's program. You don't want to do all the courses all at once because then you can't focus well on what you're doing while you're doing it. Okay, so you have to determine, for those of you who are in the daily English program, you have to determine, do I have enough time? Will I be able to focus? Will I be able to learn? Because the worst thing you could do is try to do too much and then not be able to focus and then not learn, not get results, etc. So I don't want you guys to join everything at the same time unless you can truly, truly handle it, okay? Unless you can be like a full-time student. If you have that kind of time, cool. Juan says, Stephanie, what do you recommend for business English, daily English program? The daily English program, yes, will really help a lot with business English, not because it's about business English, but because it's about good, clear, strong communication. And you'll be able to work on all of your skills. You'll be able to improve your writing, which will help you with business communication. You'll work on your pronunciation. You'll work on delivering clear messages. You'll work on your presentation skills. All of this stuff transfers over into the real world when you're in a business-like environment. You don't actually have to study, quote, business English to improve your English for work. Paula says, I love Obama, Oprah, Ellen, Stephanie. Cool. And actually, all of us have a very similar way of speaking. So those are pretty good people to imitate. If you said like Stephanie, Ellen, and then some people from the UK, and then I'd be like, okay, hold on here. because we all sound really different when we speak. But there's certain features actually of having a powerful voice that you can imitate regardless of where someone's from, regardless of what their accent is. So for example, we can have a really good speaker from the UK, from Australia and the US, and we could analyze what makes this person such a powerful speaker, right? It's not going to be their accent and it's not going to be their pronunciation. It's other things. It's stage presence, it's confidence, it's the message and the way they structure it. So all of those things, you know, we can learn regardless of what someone's accent or pronunciation is. But when it comes to training the way you articulate sounds in your mouth, you do have to focus on a specific accent, specific pronunciation patterns to learn faster and have something consistent that you can imitate and follow. Olivia says Stephanie and Taylor Swift. Cool. So something that I really like doing, you guys, is, or something that you can do, if you have certain actors that you like the way they sound, you can go on YouTube and you can look up interviews with those people and you can practice imitating their answers. Andre says, how long in months is the pronunciation course? My plan right now, and this could change in a week or two, but my plan right now is doing a 10-week course. I just want to get it out. I just want to make it, get it out, make it 10 weeks. My other courses are usually 12 weeks. So it'll probably be 10 weeks with an 11th week to do our wrap up and an analysis. But in the future, I may add a couple extra weeks. We will see. I'll also see that as I go along. For those of you who did the vocab course, remember when we started, I announced that this was an 8-week course and you all joined. And as soon as you joined, I was like, hi guys, do you mind if I make this course 12 weeks? Because I actually have a lot more that I want to teach. So that could happen too. But it probably won't be more than 12 weeks. Jerson says, if I do record myself, I don't recognize the voice, like it was someone else who spoke. Yeah, it could also take you a while to get used to your voice in English as well. Okay. Martin says, any idea what time the classes are going to be? I enrolled myself in one of your courses, but it was not able to, not even one of the classes due to my work schedule. Okay. I don't know what time the classes are going to be, but you really don't have to worry about that because everything gets recorded and then you can watch the replay. So unless it's like a live Zoom thing, which remember, I'm not sure I'm going to do that yet. And that's, if I do, it'll be a different tier, I'm sure. But no, I don't know what time the schedule is going to be, but everything gets recorded. So I'd say don't worry about that too much. And plus, once we're able to launch the course and say, hey, who wants to join us? If you have specific questions about it, you guys, you can always email us. We'll be happy to help. Lavindo says, in my dream, I speak like you, but when I wake up, it's a real nightmare. That's hilarious. Hey, at least you have good humor. Let me see. Varela says, we're going to miss you after seeing you every day for the last 7. I know, I'm going to miss you guys too, but we need time to rest. This is something we talk a lot about in the vocab course. When you're learning, you go through really intense periods of learning, and then you need time to just rest, let your brain absorb it, etc. The vocab course, I don't know exactly when we'll launch it, but you guys, I'll make a course schedule for next year. And I need to schedule in some vacations for myself as well, because sometimes I just keep working and I need to rest and relax as well. Susanna says, I can confirm, too hard to manage all of the courses. Yes, she was doing multiple courses this year and it was crazy. Okay, the final thing I'm going to do, you guys, is I just want to hang on. I copied a few comments from students and I want to share them. Okay, because I thought they were cool. And I wish I had more time to copy more comments and share more comments, but I didn't. Anyways, one of the students said when he was analyzing how this week went, etc., he said, I have realized how magical these little tricks are to sound more natural that Stefanie shared with us. So I like how he described that, these little magical tricks, right? Learning how to do the reductions, etc., learning where to place your tongue. It really does make a huge difference. Then later he said, to be honest, it was a great desire burning deep in my heart to sound 100% like a native speaker with a perfect American accent. Nowadays, I am only working on the clarity of my speech as much as possible almost every day. I started to like my own foreign accent because I got a lot of compliments about my voice from native English speakers and non-native. They told me that no matter what I am saying, it sounds like I am advertising something, or that I sound like a radio speaker, and this kind of intonation became my trademark. I am no spring chicken to pass like a native, but I am still fighting to sound as clear as much as possible. And I loved this comment because this to me was like, it encapsulates everything I wanted to help you guys achieve, at least here in this challenge in 7 days. And then, of course, this is what I want to help you guys achieve in the course as well, where you can sort of be like, you know what? I can use native speakers as my inspiration, the way that they sound, but I can also have the freedom to sound how I want to sound, or to choose certain things, and to not have to feel like I have to pass as a native, all that unnecessary pressure. We can have fun with the language, right? And at the end of the day, it's about you liking your voice. And I love what he said here about how this sort of like radio advertising sounding voice has become his trademark. Like, what is your trademark? What do you want your trademark to be? I have a trademark in my voice, and my trademark, I would say, is clarity. Like, my speech is so clear. People say, do you talk like that in real life? I'm like, yeah, this is like how I talk. This is my trademark. This level of clarity is my trademark. Also being expressive when I speak, that's also kind of like a trademark, right? But being expressive and clear are my trademark. For him, it's having this deep, like radio host voice where he sounds like an announcer, or he's advertising something. That's his trademark. So I want you to think about, what do you want your trademark to be? Okay. Do you want it to be your foreign accent? Do you want that to be your trademark? Because it absolutely can be your trademark. Do you want it to be the rhythm that you have when you speak, right? The intonation that you have? Do you want it to be your voice being very deep and smooth? Do you want it to be, I don't know, there's so many things you can choose, right? What do you want your trademark sound to be? Think about that, because that's going to be really important. We're going to work on creating that in the course, okay? Next, another student said, I think the most important achievement I had due to this challenge was that now when I read something in English, or even right now that I'm writing, I start to hear inside my head these new sounds I've been practicing, right? How many of you have experienced this week, where you're starting to hear the sounds, or you're starting to see them everywhere, and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm able to pick this up, I'm able to get it. Then he said, another student said, I'm so glad to join this challenge because I found out that I like this kind of learning. Thank you so much. And you are welcome. So how many other people here discovered that they like this kind of learning? It was really funny. One of the students said in his post, he said, I was hesitant to join this challenge because I thought it was going to be a scam. I was like, whoa, what? Oh my goodness, that's crazy to me. But at the same time, I can't even blame people for thinking that my courses are going to be scams, or my content some kind of scam, because many of you have been burned. I've been burned, right? In the online course industry, you buy something thinking it's going to be phenomenal. The sales page is amazing. It makes you think all your dreams are going to come true. And then you buy it and you're like, oh my gosh, what is the refund policy? I need to get my money back as soon as possible. So anyways, I get it. Hang on. Okay. And then finally, the last thing I highlighted, and like I said, I could have grabbed so many of these comments, but there wasn't enough time. One student said that they noticed a great difference in their connected speech, and that they stopped articulating so intensively. They were able to relax their mouth, their sounds, etc. So that, I think, is huge. Like, my goodness, you guys, Big pat on the back for all of us. Okay, we worked really hard at this challenge. We had a lot of fun. I hope you guys learned things. It is such a pleasure to work with you. You guys are the best. As much as I'm going to enjoy the extra rest I'm going to be getting over the next week, I'm going to miss you guys, okay? This is my passion, teaching you guys, going live, sharing, getting messages from students saying, I can't believe it, this was amazing. So please flood me with these comments, okay, over the next week or so. Let me know what you improved, why you like this. Let me know why you think other students should join it, because we actually have a page on Instagram. I don't know if you guys realize this. It's English Full-Time _students, and we share screenshots and videos from our actual students telling people about their experiences in our courses, with our material, precisely so that we can prove to people online everything that I do here, everything that we do, it's full of integrity. It is legit. We're not here to scam people. We are here to help you get results. We care about you. We celebrate with you when you have any kind of achievement or breakthrough. We want to hear about it. We want to share it. So if you guys have anything like that you can share with me, please put it in the comments. My team might come around and be like, hey, this is great. Can we share this? Okay, I might ask, or you can just send it to me directly and just be like, P.S. yes, you can share this. That way we don't even have to ask. But you guys, I'm just rooting for you. And let's keep going, okay? I know for some of you, there's a lot of work ahead. For others of you, my goodness, you're doing great. Just keep it up. And I'm going to go through the comments now after this video and see what I missed, because I know I missed a lot and I want to respond to everybody. So you guys are awesome. I'm actually sad. I think I'm stalling. I think I don't want to end this video because I know that'll be like the end. Okay, we'll do it. Let's hang up together. We'll both get off at the same time. I'm just kidding. Did you guys ever do that when you were kids? And you didn't want to get off the phone with your friends, so you'd be like, no, you hang up. No, you hang up. No, let's hang up together. Okay, let's hang up together, you guys, okay? All right? I'll see you guys later. Bye.